Buenos dias, chicos, and welcome to your final lesson, lesson 4 of the week. So today's subject is Tus padres te dan dinero? Do your parents give you money? So you're going to be talking about and learning about pocket money and how to say how much you get and what you spend it on with Miss Reardon. Here's the list of the equipment that you'll need for today's lesson, so pause if you need to get that ready now. Please remember to email me if you have any questions about the activities in today's lesson, and here's my email address. Please can you submit a photo of your answer to the question Tus padres te dan dinero, which is activity 9, onto class charts, so that I can have a look at that and award you with achievement points. Gracias. Copia el título Tus padres te dan dinero y la fecha, and the date is on class charts. Objetivo, to say how much pocket money you get and how you spend your money. Okay, so that's your date and title and objective, and the date and title need to be underlined. Your do now activity is to complete the verbs jugar and tocar in the present tense. And don't forget that jugar is a stem changing verb. So if you could do that as best you can, and it should take you about 5 minutes. Muy bien. And here you've got your answers. So if you look at the verb jugar, as I said, it's stem changing, and it's stem changing by adding an E after the you for the I play, you singular play, he, she plays, and finally for the they play. We don't have the E in the we play and the you plural play, so they're just jugamos, jugáis. There's no need for an E in there at all, but the rest do have the E after the you. And then if you want to have a look at tocar as well, that is a regular verb, so pause to check your answers now. Then I'm going to pass you on to Miss Reardon. So you're going to do a few more activities on jugar and tocar before you concentrate on the pocket money aspect. I look forward to receiving your work on class charts. If you've got any questions, please do email me. Muchas gracias, chicos. Adiós.
Okay, so the verb jugar is a literal translation of the verb to play, and we use it to say sports or games that we play. So an example would be juego al fútbol, which means I play football. And you'll have seen that sentence loads and loads since year 7. So you think sports, games, you're thinking the verb jugar. However, when we're talking about music, we always need to use the verb tocar. For example, toco el violín means I play the violin. So any musical instrument that you're saying that you play or someone else plays, you use the verb tocar. What I'd like you to do now, please, is to copy the grammar point down into your book. Please pause the video now to do that. So at this point, chicos, you should have copied the grammar point down into your book. And now we're going to move on to do some practice. Okay, chicos, so here is a text about my free time. And in the text, I have made 4 errors in my usage of the verbs jugar and tocar. So we know that both verbs mean to play, but we use them in different contexts. So remember that we use jugar for sports and games, but tocar for anything to do with music or playing an instrument. So what you need to do is you need to read through this text really carefully, and you need to pick out the 4 places, the 4 verbs that I've got wrong. Once you've picked them out and you've written down those 4 verbs that I've got wrong, you need to then make them right. So if I've said juegan, but it should be it's an instrument or music, you need to change it to tocan, for example. Okay, please pause the video to do this now. Excelente, chicos. Let's see how you got on. Okay, so here are my 4 errors. I said toco al golf. Well, that can't be right. it must be juego, because golf is a sport. Número dos, I've then said juego el piano. Again, that has to be wrong because for instruments we use the verb tocar. So that one must be toco. We then go down to number 3. We'll see that I've got it right here. First of all, toca la flauta. So my sister plays the flute every day, but she doesn't play basketball. So we can't use toca for plays basketball. We need to use juega. And then the last one, mis sobrinas. The verb I've put is tocan al tenis, but that has to be wrong. It should be juegan. Excelente, chicos. Muy bien. Let's move on to our final activity. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is translate the free time text to English. So you've got the question at the top there, which starts with what do you do in your free time? If there's the odd word in there which you've forgotten or you're just not sure about, feel free to use word reference and you can just type in the Spanish word and then the English will appear. Okay, so please pause the video now to translate the text. Only write the English. There's no need to write the Spanish out. Muy bien, chicos. Let's go over the answer. Okay, so here we have the English translation. I'll read it through in English and then you can be checking yours and reading at the same time. After school, I go shopping with my friends as it's fun. But at the weekend, I play golf and I play piano because I love music. When I have time, I play table football with my friends in town. But I would say that I prefer riding my bike because it's more active. My sister plays the flute every day. But she doesn't play basketball because she doesn't like it. My nieces play tennis 3 times a week because they like to be outside. Excelente, chicos. Muy bien. So really well done for your work today on the verbs jugar and tocar. I'm sure you're now really confident about when we use each one. So what I'd like you to do is to match up the vocabulary. Please make sure you write both the Spanish and the English, and I think you'll recognise quite a few of those phrases from last lesson, but also from throughout Year 9 as well when we've looked at pocket money briefly before. Please pause the video now to match up the vocabulary. Okay, let's go over the answers. Okay, chicos, so número 1, después del insti monto en monopatín. After school, I do skateboarding. So we use that same verb, montar, that we use for riding a bike, monto en bici. Cuando tengo tiempo, juego al futbolín. When I have time, I play table football. Los fines de semana toco la flauta. At the weekend, I play the flute. Mis padres me dan 10 libras a la semana. My parents give me £10 a week. Make sure that you've written pounds as libras, AS on the end, rather than libros, which means books, and therefore the meaning is changed completely. Mi madre me da 30 euros al mes. My mum gives me 30 euros a month. Gasto mi paga en saldo para el móvil. I spend my money on phone credit. Gasto mi paga en joyas y maquillaje. I spend my money on jewelry and makeup. También compro zapatillas de marca. I also buy designer trainers. And finally, también compro videojuegos y revistas. I also buy video games and magazines. Muy bien, chicos. Let's just do a little bit of pronunciation practice of some of these key words. Okay, so if you just repeat each word after me. Monopatín. Monopatín. Flauta. Flauta. euros, euros, móvil, móvil, joyas, joyas, maquillaje, maquillaje, zapatillas, zapatillas. Muy bien, chicos. If you want to practice the pronunciation of those trickier words again, rewind the video by 50 seconds. Okay, chicos, so now I'd like you to spend 10 minutes learning this vocabulary on Quizlet. Please do the learn, write, spell sections first, then do the games before testing yourselves. Please pause the video now and follow the link to Quizlet, which is on class charts. Excelente, chicos. You should be feeling more confident with those phrases now. Let's move on. Okay, chicos, so now I'm going to read this text and you can see that there are 10 gaps in the text. All you need to do is write down the numbers 1 to 10 in your exercise book and then write down the word that should go in the gap. So you don't need to copy the whole text, you literally just write the word that's missing. So I'll say tengo something pasatiempos and you'll write number 1 and then the word that should go there. Okay, I'll start reading now. Off we go. Tengo muchos pasatiempos. Después del insti, toco la flauta. Y también juego al futbolín y a los videojuegos. Los fines de semana normalmente quedo con mis amigos. A veces vamos al polideportivo, donde jugamos al squash y montamos en monopatín. El problema es que no tengo bastante dinero. Mis padres me dan 10 euros a la semana. Pero gasto mi paga en saldo para el móvil. De vez en cuando compro ropa también. Excelente, chicos. Don't worry if you didn't get number 4. That's quite a tricky one to hear and a word you're not so familiar with. So don't worry too much about number 4. If you've got any other gaps, please now rewind the video by 2 minutes to listen again. Muy bien. Let's go over the answers. Okay, so here are the answers. Número 1 was muchos. Número 2, flauta. So one of those words we just practiced pronouncing. 3 is videojuegos. 4 is quedo, so Q-U-E-D-O, which means I meet my friends. Quedo. Número 5, jugamos. We play. And monopatín. So montamos en monopatín, we do skateboarding. Número 7, bastante. So that means in this sentence is then the problem is that I don't have enough money. We're often used to seeing bastante used as quite, but it means both in Spanish, quite and enough, just depending on the context of the sentence. Because it wouldn't make sense for this to say, the problem is that I don't have quite money. Doesn't make sense. Número 8, 10. So he gets 10 euros a week, but he spends his money on credit for his phone. And then from time to time, he buys clothes, ropa, as well. Muy bien, chicos. Excelente. Continuamos. So here, chicos, we have a text, and this text is all about parents and giving pocket money. So here's the title. Los padres españoles entre los más generosos. So I'll tell you that the word entre means among. But I'm not going to say the rest because otherwise I'll help you too much in answering the question. So you can see it starts by saying según los resultados de una encuesta. So according to the results of a survey, los padres españoles son de los más generosos de Europa. So I'm not going to do that little bit with you just because that'll help you too much once again to answer the questions. So what you need to do is read through this short text. There will be some words that you don't know, okay? So I don't want you to get panicked by thinking, oh, I've never ever seen that word before. Do not worry. That will happen, as it will happen, if you take GCSE in the there will always be words that you don't know, but you need to learn not to panic, to take a moment to think, actually, I know a huge amount of these words, and that way you can get your answers. So you've got 4 questions. Number 1, are Spanish parents among the most or the least generous in Europe? So you need to think about, I know how to say the most and the least. Now, which one am I looking for? Find the answer. Just answer in English. So pause the video now to answer these questions. As I've said, you don't need to write the question out themselves and you answer in English. Off you go. Muy bien, chicos. Let's see how you got on. Okay, so are Spanish parents among the most or the least generous in Europe? So they are among the most generous in Europe. You can see just from the title it says los más generosos, the most generous. If it was the least, it would say los menos generosos. Do Spanish parents give more or less pocket money than Italian and French parents? Now, this was the trickiest question in my opinion. So we look for where they've said Italian and French, and you can see that they've said los italianos y franceses. So we know that the answer is before that. And what it says in this first bullet point, los españoles son los terceros de Europa. So the Spanish are the third in Europe. So I didn't expect you to know the word terceros. Maybe you got there on your own. The third in Europe in giving the highest quantity of money to their children, their sons or daughters, after the Italian and French. So the key word here was after. So the Spanish are third after the Italian and French. Therefore, they give less money than Italian and French parents who give the most in Europe. Okay, so you didn't need to know the word terceros, third. You didn't really need to know the whole of that sentence. You just needed to know that word después, after, and that the Spanish come after the Italian and French. Número 3. How much money do 41% of Spanish children between 5 and 15 years old get per week? And they get between 5 and 10 euros per week. And number 4, what percentage of children above the age of 15 receive more than 50 euros a week? And that one I'd say is pretty easy. We've just left with our last bullet point, which is 13.8%. Muy bien, chicos. That was a trickier text. A little bit more like a real life text, really, something that you would read online in an article, for example. Okay, chicos, let's move on to our final activity now. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is write your own answer to the question, ¿Tus padres te dan dinero?, which we've been over before, means do your parents give you money? So even if you don't get any money, I think it's probably best, just for the practicing Spanish point of view, that you just make up that they do or say however much. It doesn't need to be true. It can be completely made up. So I've done my answer here. I've said, mis padres me dan 5 libras a la semana. So my parents give me £5 a week. Aunque me gustaría recibir más. Although I would like to receive more. Generalmente, gasto mi paga en joyas y maquillaje. So generally, I spend my money on jewelry and makeup. Porque me encantan las joyas, because I love jewelry. También compro zapatillas de marca, so I also buy designer trainers, dado que me gustan mucho, because I like them a lot. So you can see that both my opinions, me encantan and me gustan, have ends on the end. The first one I'm referring to jewelry, joyas, which is plural, and the second, designer trainers, zapatillas de marca, which is plural. So off you go now, please. Write the question nice and neatly, underline it, and then write your own answer underneath. Off you go. Muy bien, chicos. So what you need to do now is take a photo of your answer to the question and upload it to class charts. Really well done for your work today. If you've got any extra time, you can just go over these 3 terms that I've highlighted here on the knowledge organiser and have a really good rest of your day. Just another reminder to make sure you submit a photo of your answer to the question that we've just done, activity 6. Adios!